A séance has been held in the great house at Collinwood. A séance which has suspended time and space and sent one woman on an uncertain and terrifying journey into the past, back to the year 1795. There, each of the Collins ancestors resembles a present-day member of the family, but the names and relationships have changed, and Victoria Winters finds herself a stranger in a sea of familiar faces. The terror and evil that have plagued the Collins family now have spread to the village of Collinsport itself. Held captive on a charge of witchcraft, Victoria Winters is the one person who knows that this is but the beginning of a 200-year nightmare.
Peter, is something wrong?
There will be if I don't act quickly.
I don't understand.
I'm going to find the Reverend Trask and tell him that I let you out of your room last night to go to Collinwood.
Why?
Because I lied last night. Only I lied too well.
But there was nothing else you could have done.
The worst thing I could have done was to tell Trask that you didn't leave your cell all evening. Because it only convinced him that you were in two places at once. He's going to tell the court that only a witch could do that. And I'll tell you this, they'll believe him and convict you.
Peter, I can't let you go through with this.
I'm afraid it's none of your concern. It's my decision.
If you tell Trask that you lied last night, you'll be in as much trouble as I am.
What will happen to me will be nothing of what will happen to you if you're convicted.
Well, they have to convict me first.
And they will, if I don't tell Trask that I lied.
Peter, please don't go through with this.
Why are you so concerned about me? It's your life that's at stake, not mine.
Because you're the only person who's shown any kindness and understanding to me. I don't want to see anything happen to you.
I assure you, nothing will.
Well, you can be sure of that if you stay here and don't say anything for the time being.
Do you really care what happens to me?
Yes.
Why?
Because you're a very special person.
Because I'm the only one around to defend you?
No. Because you do what you think is right, no matter what anybody else thinks. I've often thought it's very sad that we live in two worlds that are so far apart in time from each other.
But you're a part of this world now. And this time. And I'm glad of it.
I wish I knew how long I was going to stay here.
You want to return to your own time, don't you?
Oh, yes, very much.
Is there someone...
No, I'd rather not talk about it if you don't mind.
Of course not. I only hope you get what you want.
Peter, I didn't come here by choice. I don't know how it happened. But when I found myself 200 years back in time, I was frightened and miserable. But because of you, for the first time, I felt some assurance. I'm very grateful to you for everything you've done.
I guess you are from another century.
What do you mean?
Women here don't do things like that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't mean I disapproved. I've been reading this most of the night. It's hard to believe that most of what's written in here hasn't happened yet.
Do you believe it will happen?
Some of it already has.
I know this book must be very hard for you to accept. No.
What's the matter?
What's the date today?
24th. Why?
In 2 days, Sarah Collins will have a birthday.
What about it?
According to this book, she died on her 11th birthday.
Are you sure?
Yes.
On the occasion of her 11th birthday, Sarah Collins, youngest child of Joshua and Naomi, suffering from exposure, contracted the fever and died.
Peter, we've got to do something.
There's so little time. What can we do?
Well, the book says that she died from exposure. Now, we could prevent that if she wasn't allowed to go outside until after her birthday.
What can you do about that? You're locked up in here.
Well, I can't do anything, but Naomi Collins can. Peter, please go to Collinwood and tell Mrs. Collins that I must see her immediately.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to warn her.
What makes you think that she'll believe anything that you say?
Please, Peter, go and bring her here. If she's reluctant, then tell her that it's a matter of life or death.
Yes, Sarah?
Do you know where Josette is?
Yes, she and her aunt went by carriage to Bangor this morning.
Oh. Do you know when she's coming back?
Oh, sometime this evening. It'll be late. You'll be in bed.
Oh. Then I'll have to leave this in her room before I go to bed.
Leave what in her room?
This.
What is it?
You see, Joshua, Josette's been so sad for such a long time. I thought maybe she'd like to be happy again, so I made her a present.
Well, that was very thoughtful of you, Sarah. What kind of present?
Open it and see.
Oh, it's a candle.
Rick showed me how to make it, and he told me why Josette would like it.
Why?
Well, he said that when someone you love has gone away, if you put a candle in your window, they'll come home. And I know Josette wants Barnabas to come home because I think she still loves him.
Yes, I think so, too.
I miss Barnabas a lot.
Sarah.
Mother, I love Barnabas, and I want him to come home.
Barnabas is going to be away in England for a long time, Sarah.
How long?
Oh, perhaps as long as till after you're grown up.
I don't think Barnabas wants to stay away from us that long. I'll wait until it's dark, and I'll light the candle and put it in Josette's window. And somehow Barnabas will know it's there, and he'll come back to us. You'll see.
Barnabas. I gotta talk to you.
Did anyone see you come out here?
Of course not. I'm always real careful when I come down here.
What do you want to talk to me about?
Are you going to the village again tonight?
Why?
I wouldn't if I was you. They're real worked up about the things that have been happening down there.
What do they say has been causing these incidents?
They don't know, but if you keep taking chances like you've been doing, they'll catch you out sooner or later.
It isn't as though I had a choice, Ben.
Couldn't you stay here for a few nights?
I'm going not to the village tonight. I have other plans.
What other plans?
I made a promise to Josette before I died. I told her to wait for me, that I would come back to her. And I shall fulfill that promise tonight.
You're seeing her tonight?
Yes.
You think you should?
You don't, is that it?
I was thinking it might be too much of a shock for her.
If I know Josette, she will be expecting me. I told her I would return, and I know she believed me.
Telling her that and actually coming back from the dead. Two different things.
Maybe you're right. Perhaps I should prepare her for my return more gradually. Yes, that's it. I will go to her room tonight. I will leave something for her. Something that will let her know that my return is imminent.
Mrs. Collins,
Good evening, Miss Winters.
I'm so glad you decided to come here.
This young man made me think I'd be making a tragic mistake if I didn't.
I heard the news about Barnabas. I'm very sorry.
Who told you about Barnabas?
Josette,
She shouldn't have done that.
why not?
My husband insisted that only members of the family should know about Barnabas's death.
But why?
Well, Mr. Collins' story to all outsiders was that Barnabas had gone away to England.
I see. Then that's why it said that in the book.
What book?
The Collins family history.
What are you talking about?
Mrs. Collins, I know this is going to be very hard for you to accept, but you must believe what I'm going to say because I know what I'm talking about.
Miss Winters, why did you send for me?
To tell you that Sarah is in very serious danger.
Sarah? Why?
In 2 days, she will have her 11th birthday. You must not let her go out of the house until after that day.
Why not?
Because if you do, she will die.
Miss Winters, I've never believed any of the charges against you. I've always felt you were a victim of injustice, but now...
When I came here, I had a book with me. That book is an accurate report of what will happen to the Collins family in the future.
But that's impossible. How could any book contain a history of the future?
I know it sounds impossible, but it is true.
I won't believe it. I can't believe it.
But you must. According to the book, Sarah will die of exposure and fever on her 11th birthday. If you want to save her, then you must not let her out of the house until after that day.
What they say about you could be true.
Whether I'm a witch or not is unimportant. You know how I feel about Sarah and how she feels about me.
I thought I did.
Please, please trust me and do as I say.
This book you're talking about, did it also predict the death of Barnabas?
The book tells history as it was written. What it says about Barnabas is what history will say about him. That he went away to England.
It's all so frightening, and it doesn't make sense. I don't believe there is such a book. How could there be?
Well, then, let's say that there is no such book. That I had a premonition and that I was wrong. But what harm will it do to keep Sarah indoors for a few days?
I don't suppose it would do any harm.
Then you will keep her indoors.
Very well. I'll keep her indoors.
You'll never regret this. Believe me.
That's the funny part. I do believe you, and I don't know why.
I know where it should go. I'll put it in the window for it, and it'll be even a bigger surprise. I'll even light it for it. It's Barnabas! Briggs was right. He's come back to us. Barnabas! It had to be Barnabas. I saw him. I've got to find out. It is Barnabas!
Sarah. No, Sarah, you mustn't see me.
Barnabas! Why are you running away? We want you to come back. Please come back.
I'll take you back to Collinsport now, Mrs. Collins.
Thank you. Mr. Bradford, you heard everything that Miss Winters said to me.
Yes.
Do you think it's possible for a young woman to be able to know the future for each of us?
Mrs. Collins, I only know that what she said about the book is true. I know that because I know the book exists. I've seen it.
You've seen it.
Yes.
What did it say about Sarah?
Exactly what Miss Winters said.
Well, then I must get back to Collinwood as quickly as possible. Whether it's right or wrong, I want to be with Sarah now, before anything happens to her.
Barnabas, where did you go? I saw you come into the cemetery. Barnabas, where are you? Are you in there? Barnabas? If you are, answer me.